Last summer, I decided to embark on a solo getaway to a remote cabin in the woods. I found the listing on Airbnb, a charming wooden cabin nestled among towering trees, promising solitude and a break from the chaos of city life. Little did I know that the tranquility I sought would turn into a nightmarish ordeal. Upon arriving, the cabin seemed idyllic, just as described. The sun was beginning to set, casting long shadows across the forest floor. I settled in, unpacked, and decided to explore the surroundings before dark. As I ventured deeper into the woods, an unsettling feeling of being watched started to creep over me. I brushed it off, chalking it up to my overactive imagination. Night fell, and I lit a fire in the fireplace to ward off the growing chill. That's when I heard it. Faint footsteps outside the cabin. I froze, my heart racing. The footsteps grew closer, mingling with the rustling of leaves. I grabbed a flashlight and peered out the window, but the darkness swallowed any trace of movement. Anxious and unable to shake the feeling of being pursued, I locked all the doors and windows, hoping to calm my nerves. I retreated to my bedroom, lying awake as the night deepened. Just as I began to drift off, I heard a soft scratching sound at the window. I turned on the bedside lamp and my blood ran cold. A handprint smeared with dirt marked the glass. I felt trapped, my mind racing through scenarios of what could be lurking outside. The scratching continued, growing more insistent, and the cabin seemed to creak as if burdened by some invisible force. Desperate, I dialed 911, but my phone displayed no service. Panic surged through me as I realized the isolation of my situation. The scratching escalated into a frenzied pounding, echoing through the cabin. I clutched a fire poker in one hand and my flashlight in the other, ready to defend myself. Suddenly, the pounding ceased, replaced by a chilling silence that seemed to stretch on forever. Trembling, I mustered the courage to peek out the window, only to find the forest empty. The sun eventually rose, casting its weak light over the cabin. I cautiously ventured outside, my eyes scanning the surroundings. There, etched into the bark of a nearby tree, was a message that froze my blood. "You're not alone." That was the last straw. I packed my bags, left the cabin, and never looked back.
Last year, I went to a little house for my vacation. It was like a quick break before I went to another place. The house was all clean and nobody was there. The sun was going away and I sat on the soft chair, feeling like sleeping. Around 8 p.m., a bell rang loudly. I was confused. I went to the door. 2 men outside said they were here for the house. I didn't understand. I talked aloud through the door, saying I also booked the house and they should talk to the person in charge. One man left, but the other stayed. He wanted me to open the door so we could talk. I was scared, but I thought about being safe. I said my husband would come down soon. The man didn't say anything, and it got quiet outside. I looked out a window and saw more people hiding. It was scary. I felt something was wrong. I stayed careful. Later, I called 911 and they said they were sending help. I heard footsteps around the house. People came inside and started looking around. I was in the bathroom, being quiet and scared. They tried to open the bathroom door but left when they couldn't get in. The police came and the people left. The house was messy. My things were gone and my car was broken into. The police said it might be a gang. It was really scary and made me worry about staying in houses like this. I talked to my friend about what happened. They told me it wasn't my fault and that bad people do bad things sometimes. They said I was brave to call 911 and stay safe. After that, I'm more careful when I go to new places. I always make sure the door is locked, and I don't talk to strangers who come to the door. I also make sure to have my phone with me all the time, so I can call for help if something doesn't feel right. Even though it was a scary night, I learned important things to keep myself safe. I won't forget what happened, but I won't let fear control me either. I'm still going on vacations, but now I'm more aware and careful.
Last year I went on a trip to Salt Lake City all by myself. It was a new thing for me because I usually went on vacations with my family, but this time I wanted to enjoy my own company. Being alone didn't bother me much, in fact I kind of liked it. I mean, I hardly ever got to be alone, so this was a chance to have some quiet time. I looked up places to stay, like hotels and Airbnb. Surprisingly, the Airbnbs were nicer and cheaper, but most of the cheaper ones were a bit far from the city. It was all right though because I had my own car, so I didn't mind traveling a bit to get to the city. I chose a nice Airbnb that was a bit small, but had a good kitchen and bedroom. That's all I needed. I arrived in Salt Lake City at 6 in the morning on a Sunday. The owner sent me the password and I carried all my stuff inside. The place was really nice, way better than the small apartment I shared with my roommate. Once I got everything set up, I plopped down on the couch and turned on the TV. After all, I had driven for 10 hours, so I was looking forward to just relaxing and enjoying the peace and quiet. I must have dozed off because I woke up a few hours later. It was around 10 and the TV was still on. I grabbed the remote and turned it off. Then I got up to get some water before going to the bedroom. As I walked from the living room to the kitchen, I felt a sudden cold breeze brush against me. My tired eyes looked to the right and my heart skipped a beat. The front door was wide open. I froze, staring at the door for a moment. I knew I had closed and locked it. This was really freaking me out. Slowly, I walked over to the door and closed it softly, listening carefully for any sounds of someone inside. Just so you know, I'm not the strongest person, but I am tall and in decent shape. So unless the intruder had a weapon, I felt I could protect myself. I grabbed a kitchen knife, staying quiet, and walked through every room in the house. But there was no one there. This only made me more confused and concerned. So I sent a text to the homeowner, explaining what had happened and asking if someone was supposed to come over that night. It was late, so I didn't expect a quick reply. I went around locking every door, then I checked the house again before going back to bed. I fell asleep without much trouble. When I woke up again, I was way less calm than before. I heard a noise from outside my room, not from outside the house, but from outside my bedroom door. I didn't know what to do, so I just sat there in bed, waiting for whoever was outside the room to make a move. As I sat there, I started thinking about how the person could have gotten in. The only person who had the password was the homeowner, so in that moment, I was sure it was him. Feeling a bit more brave, I got out of bed. I still hadn't heard any other sounds. I grabbed my phone from the nightstand and was about to call the police when suddenly, I heard someone start running away from my bedroom door and towards the front of the house. That scared me even more because it meant the intruder was right outside my bedroom door the whole time. I quickly dialed 911, but while I waited for the police, nothing else happened. The person had left. Later, I found a hotel to stay at for the rest of my vacation. The crazy thing is that the owner of the Airbnb actually gave me a refund. He showed it wasn't him. He was an older man, very concerned about what had happened. He turned out to be really nice. The creepy part was that when I thought it was the owner, that was unsettling enough. But knowing it was some random guy makes it even worse. I still don't know how he got in or why he was stalking me. It gives me chills thinking about it. The part that keeps replaying in my mind is waking up and seeing the front door open. Knowing someone was actually in the house means they must have seen me sleeping on the couch and then did whatever they came to do. It's really unnerving and creepy. It makes me never want to stay alone in an Airbnb again. This whole experience made me more cautious when I travel. Now, I always make sure the door is locked, and I don't talk to strangers who come to the door. I also keep my phone close by all the time so I can call for help if something feels off. Even though it was a scary night, I learned important ways to keep myself safe. I won't forget what happened, but I won't let fear control me either. I'm still going on vacations, but now I'm more aware and careful.